Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Yokoso, Yokoso, Yokoso. Welcome to another Stadia Monday Night Chat. Ladies and gentlemen, doesn't time fly when you're having fun? Welcome. Quick welcome to chat. Hello there, Jackson, Mikkel, Trayvon, Kenda. That's just one person. Shame. You split yourself up into four there. Sednar, hello, Monkey88. Dave Widnall, Jakey Dazzadini, Victor, and Dominique. Dominic will do, but Dominique on Saturdays, maybe. I don't know. Dominic. Sorry, there we go. Welcome. As I say, welcome to the Stadia Monday Night Chat. You remember what to do. Hit the likes before you forget, because I like them, YouTube likes them, and it helps people like you find content like this. And if you are new here, welcome. Say hello in chat. Say hello to everybody. Hello, Paul. Hello, Scooterama. Hello. How are you all? If you are new, join in the chat. They're a friendly bunch. And don't forget to subscribe, toggle that notification bell so you know when I go live with content like this. Okay. Good evening, Stadia Mania. Good evening. Games you've been playing, please, you know the form. Put them in the chat. Let me know what games you've been playing this week. Presumably some of the pro games. Saints Row. Let me know. I, of course, have been continuing with Doom 2016, which I seem to have been playing for the last 3 or 4 weeks. But we're progressing, ladies and gentlemen. We're progressing. I tried a few big box, little box, big box, a bit of the old Swedish house mafia type stuff with Avicii. What a bunch of great tracks is on that Avicii game. You forget how many great tracks there were, you know. And me, of course, being an ex-professional dancer, ladies and gentlemen, you'd think I'd be pretty good getting the rhythm right. But my age and the buttons, I find it quite tough. Let me know in the chat whether you've been playing that. Of course, Pixel Junk Raiders, of course, is the other big one. Steep learning curve, ladies and gentlemen, don't you think? Steep learning curve on that. I've been playing it. I love the music. I think it's really evocative. The music to Pixel Junk Raiders, I really do like. It's that sort of early 80s sort of synth vibe going on there. I'm a sort of a retro synth guy. And I kind of really like the sound and the sort of atmosphere that it creates. Great soundtrack. And I also love the way that when you rescue the Tantalans, they sort of clap their hands with joy. Ooh, I kind of quite like that. But let me know whether you've been playing that. I even, ladies and gentlemen, of the pro titles, and I'll come to this a bit later actually, I even had a go at Rain. I think I managed 12 years. Is that good? It's pretty good. I'd be happy with 12 years. But a fun title to play. I imagine it's a fun title to play on your mobile, personally. Again, let me know if you've played any of the Stadia Pro games. Let's see if anybody's putting any games at the moment. Division 2, as always. Thank you, Hill Monkey. Kronos Before the Ashes. It's not great, says Dave. Not great. And Valhalla this weekend from Jakey. Well, it's good. It's funny because, I sort of... Yeah, there's sort of games I've sort of stopped playing that I kind of bought and stuff. And I'll touch on the Stadia Pro games a little bit later, so more on that. But needless to say, the inclusion of Reigns has set the old Stadia chattering classes, has set them off on one, really. So we'll come back to that later. Now, have you played Saints Row the Third? It seems like a game I would enjoy, and I'm on the verge of playing. So many times at the weekend, I nearly got it, but it would just be going into my sort of file of games I need to play. I think what's interesting at the moment is, in a way, what I'm not playing, I think is the interesting factor overall here, because one of the reasons that I haven't bought Saints Row is because I've still yet to play Little Nightmares 2. I was a massive fan of Little Nightmares 1. I thought I'd be on it day one. So considering I loved Little Nightmares 1, it's strange I haven't got round to sort of, I feel like I need that quality time to start Little Nightmares 2. And then I haven't been back to Cyberpunk for a while, and I've hardly scraped the surface. I've only just met Keanu in there. So I fear that if I get Saints Row, then all those games are just going to take another step backwards. When am I going to play Cyberpunk and Little Nightmares? As once I'm done with Saints Row, that in the next few weeks there'll be FIFA, there'll be Outriders. Not complaining. It's a happy dilemma, ladies and gentlemen, to think the way that people used to talk about Stadia 12 months ago. It's a happy dilemma to have too many games. I mean, it's like I've said loads of times on this site, it's not about, you could have 300 games. What is the point of having 300 games? Really? Like you just be, what you want is enough games to sort of keep you satisfied and a little bit extra. It's that, like, what if you won, it'd be great if you won 500 million on the lottery. Of course, we'd all love that. But how would you spend it? Like, 50 million? Yeah. But like 500, what would you do with it? Give it to charity. That's a good thing to do, I suppose. Right, let's just have a quick say. Pixel Junk, I had about 4 easy levels, but beat the world boss, then bam, dead. Dear. Good evening, Kessler Run. Dead by Daylight, Formula 1. 40 years on Reigns. I've only played it the once, in fairness. I thought I would be a benevolent king with a bit of wisdom. That got me 12 years. Do I have to be a bit more ruthless? Reigns is a bummer. As in, like, it's horrible to play, or you think it's a pro title, it's a bit of a downer. Vici, says Yoshida. Very good. Reigns runs in 4K is hilarious. Yeah, see, Stadia promised games would run in 4K. Reigns. That is funny. Very goody. Arc, of course, which could be a pro in April. But yeah, the list, as said on there, the list is pretty long. But it's a good dilemma, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good dilemma, ultimately, to deal with. Which, interestingly, ladies and gentlemen, interestingly enough, takes me to the Stadia save point, which is a sort of a good segue into the main news. So what I want to do is just bring up the Stadia save point. So where are we there? Where is it? 1 second. Let me just bring it up. Right, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, why don't I just go there and then I can read it. Right, so the Freudian slip, Stadia save point, January and February updates. Now, I think this is quite interesting because when you read this, ladies and gentlemen, when you read this, he says, yeah, it strikes me that we can get really bogged down in the in almost the sort of day-to-day events of every little title, of every little kind of Stadia news item or opinion on Twitter or Reddit, that we kind of, in a way, we kind of lose sight of the bigger picture. Yeah, we start judging things on that day or that week, and we sort of focus on the tiniest little details of, you know, a blow by blow account, and these little details are blown out of proportion. But when you step back, say if you're like a casual Stadia user, yeah, who doesn't sort of comb through religiously every Twitter or every Stadia news item or outlet for the latest little kind of tidbit, gossips, rumors, false assumptions, yeah, if you're just a casual gamer, maybe you sort of, I don't know, go to the Stadia community blog once a week, just see what's happening because you've just been sent an email by Stadia to check it out. Or maybe not even that. Maybe you just watch Sunny Cloud Gaming and that's it, and that's all your news. So when you read something like the Stadia save point, it's stuck in my head now. When you look at this, so here we go, 2021. So 2 months in, this is covering January and February. We've had Hitman 3. We've touched down for Madden, Madden. We've had Scott Pilgrim Saves the World, Little Nightmares 2, day and date release, and a pro game, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget that. Day and date and pro game. Hotline Miami, Figment, Enter the Gungeon. Then we had State Share, of course, as part of Hitman 3. And also, of course, to put to great use as in Pixel Junk Raiders. So State Share, a great exclusive element to Stadia, being utilized. Creator became free for everyone to play, along with Destiny 2 and Super Bomberman. More than 100 games were announced, including, of course, FIFA, K's, Outriders, Judgment, Riders Republic. We know Far Cry 6 coming, and Halo Engineer. Native support for LG TVs in the latter part of the year were announced. The pro games that we've had so far, Journey to Savage Planet, Lara Croft, Guardians of the Light, Enter the Gungeon, Little Nightmares 2, and a continued sort of growing library. New content that launched. So we've had Place for the Unwilling, Epistory, Gods Will Fall, Hitman 3, Hellpoint, Journey, Light Nightmares, Madden, Phoenix Point, Pinkuniku, Scott Pilgrim, Shantae, the other Shantae, Tohu, Welcome to Elk. Plus, we've had announcements of Judgment, Killer Queen Black, Street Power Football, and of course, FIFA coming out this week, ladies and gentlemen. So when you look at that as a casual gamer, as a casual Stadia gamer who's just coming across that, because, I don't know, it's dropped into your Gmail account, whatever, and you're not religiously combing over every tweet about Stadia there is, that's a hell of a lot of stuff that's happened over the last 2 months. And yeah, I'm not forgetting the fact that, you know, Stadia Games and Entertainment was shut down, and that's major. Of course it is. But when you take a step back and look at everything that's happened just in January and February, which are quiet months in the gaming industry, really, I think it just sort of helps you kind of think, wow, there's actually a lot's gone on. We can't just judge Stadia day by day. You sort of say, how are they performing over the last month? How are they performing over the last 2 months, 6 months, 12 months? Stadia's save point is a summary of the last couple of months. And on the face of it, hey, who knew? There's a lot of stuff here. Yeah? As I say, closing of CG and E aside, there's a lot of stuff there to look at. So, yeah, I just sort of think it's worth focusing on the save point and just sort of realize that, yeah, a lot of stuff, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of stuff. Just checking them on there. And I'm not being delusional. I mean, I know, it's not all a bed of roses, but that, it just helps now and then to kind of focus on the fact that there has been a lot of stuff over the last couple of months, but we're beginning to take it all for granted. Yeah. So outside of your Stadia news bubble, for the casual Stadia gamer, the casual Stadia user, that's a lot of stuff. That's all I'm saying. This is the point. You need to judge Stadia over a longer period of time than we sort of tend to in our little Stadia bubble where we're judging them day by day. I see people reading one piece of news on one particular day and then going, right, that's it. I'm done. Almost sort of completely wiping off the last 12 months or so just because of one little thing. Take on the bigger picture. Remember, Stadia was dead 12 months ago, apparently. Yeah, apparently. Still here, still delivering. Yeah, January, delivered. February, delivering. March, delivering. It's the quietest part of the year, game-wise. Yeah, but Clive, where are the AAAs? Where are the AAAs on Stadia, Clive? Where are they? Yeah, where are the AAAs, Well, on the AAAs, yeah, in terms of brand new AAAs, multi-platform releases, shall I tell you what, the industry so far has had Hitman 3 on Stadia, Outriders, which has been announced, coming to Stadia, then Far Cry 6. In terms of multi-platform, the big new multi-platform releases, all on Stadia. That's it. So, where's the big for Xbox multi-platform one? Oh, what do you mean, like Hitman? Yeah. Oh, what do you mean, like Outriders? Yeah. It's the same. It's the same. True. It's true of Xbox. It's true of PlayStation. It's quiet. Yeah. There are no big AAAs coming out in the next. There's only a very small handful of AAAs until the year starts to get going. So as long as the arrival of AAAs on Stadia remain consistent throughout the year, then then we're good. Yeah, in my opinion, we're good. That was Carly Ukis and Dead to Me Now. What a lovely song. You're listening to Stadia FM on 95.5 FM, Pop Pickers. Now, as you know, every week I like to read out a love letter or a love letter of breakup or something like that. And I have a letter here that I'd like to share with you listeners in the heartbreak section of the show. So get yourself comfy and listening in. Here we go. The recent pro games encouraged me to cancel my subscription. I'm sorry if some of you think this is good value for money, but Reigns, an old mobile game, Pixel Junk Raiders, probably was going to be a mobile game at first. At least it feels like it. I wouldn't even play this game for more than one session if I'd got it free on the Epic Store. 10-year-old Tomb Raider games that were free on other platforms long, long ago. WTF are they even thinking over at the Stadia HQ? They seem to be so fixated on this ridiculous idea of a large number of games, adding games to the library each month, and even thinking about how bad their library of pro games is. These games should all just be in the library, and the announcement should be for exciting new titles. Look at what Games Pass and PS Plus are offering. Epic is giving away multiple games for free each month that are of better value than what we get with the Pro sub. I love the service. I think cloud gaming is the future. Stadia has the best hardware, and I've been very happy with all the games I've purchased, but the Pro sub is just a joke. I'd be happy to pay a lower fee for just the 4K stream. Even bundle that with YouTube. There we go. I said I hit that too early. Never mind. Look, I think the guy makes some interesting points. And I'm having a little laugh at his expense. There are some valid points in there, but when I first read it, ladies and gentlemen, this was on Reddit, I couldn't help but hear that music. Now, if you're a person of a certain age and you live in the UK, and you grew up listening to Radio 1 in the 80s, then you'll know where the music from that is. So I couldn't help but think of that when I saw this sort of what seemed like a breakup letter in Reddit. He makes some valid points, but my issue with these people who kind of the sort of the self-appointed nature of their sort of, oh, I'm leaving. I've done it before. You've seen my sketches before where I sort of people who make these grand proclamations that they're leaving. I'm done. You know, because they're done with February Pro titles. You know, forget the fact that Little Nightmares, a brand new, much wanted sequel, releasing day and date the month before, landed on Stadia, free for Stadia Pro members. If you want it on Xbox, you had to pay for it. If you want it on PlayStation, you had to pay for it. You know, so that was a pretty major little kind of landing. Yeah, the February titles are a bit, you know. But you can't judge it over a month or a couple of months. Judge it over the year. You're going to have some hits. You're going to have some not so much sort of hits and stuff like that. Yeah, new member. Whoop, whoop. Welcome, sir. Anyway, so yeah, he makes some valid points. You know, of course, I'd love to see some major AAAs land and Stadia Pro. Of course. Don't you think the Stadia HQ would love that to happen? Yeah, if they could. And if they could, they would. And I'm sure conversations are going on, but you're not going to get it. A, you're not going to get it every month. And B, there's not enough of the major AAA titles sort of coming through. So, yeah, that's just my view on that. But I just thought I would, it just reminded me of those sort of breakup letters that people write sometimes. So I just thought it was amusing in that regard. Just thought it was amusing. Anyway, ladies, let me know what you think. I mean, do you agree? I mean, as I say, I was taking the rise out of the guy of the piece, but you know, do you agree with some of the points he makes? Do you think the pro titles overall, is there a trend? You know, I say my main issue with people like that is, look, you know, if you're not happy with it, yeah, fine. You know, cancel your pro. That's fine. Wait for something until you are happy. You know, just if you want to leave, just fine. Just shut the door behind you. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. But anyway, let me know what you think. You know, whether you think, as I say, that, you know, were you disappointed with the February in isolation, or overall, if you looked at, say, December, January, February in the round, is it reasonable? That'd just be interesting to know what your thoughts are, because, you know, I know on Reddit, loads of people going, yeah, mate, me too. Yeah, it's rubbish. February pro titles. That's it. I'm done. Yeah, me too, mate. Yeah, me too, mate. Yeah, and me too. As I said, you can't judge Pro on a month. Yeah, or even a few months, really. You've got to judge it over a period of time. As I say, literally last month, Little Nightmares 2, I thought was a bit of a coup. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty major title. Personally, that's what I thought. Anyway, talking of the Pro titles, very briefly, ladies and gentlemen, very briefly, as we've said, as I've touched on here, Avicii, Reigns, yeah. Reigns is a weird one, but in a way, I'd rather have Reigns if it doesn't cost anything to put in the library, yeah, as a Stadia Pro type. Bearing in mind, the Stadia Pro is building a library, yeah. It's not about games that come in and come out. It's about an opportunity for people who subscribe to Stadia Pro to build a library of games. Yeah, so Reigns was selling for a couple of quid. Well, they might as well just throw it in for Pro. I don't have a problem. I'd rather they threw it in than not, if that makes sense. It may not be everybody's cup of tea. It may not be the world's greatest game, to some people. But it's about building a library. So if you've got it, if somebody said, look, I have it for free, like, okay, just throw it in there. I might have a look at it. It's in my library. Nothing wrong in that, personally. What would be wrong is if it's supplanting other titles that would be better, but I don't think that's really the case. Case in point, so if you think about, again, in context, February, we had Little Nightmares 2, yeah? Multi-platform, AAA game, launched straight to Stadia Pro. March, Pixel Junk Raiders, exclusive, a well-known older IP with a brand new game, exclusive to Stadia, with exclusive Stadia features. Yeah? That's impressive, isn't it? That's a pretty good Pro game to have. Even if it's not your kind of game, it's a pretty good Pro game to have, an exclusive title. And same, as you say, an Ark going Pro, a popular older AAA title, if that comes in April, that'd be pretty good. So I don't know. I think they get judged in isolation. You can judge the titles harshly. Yeah. If you just said Reigns and that was it. But again, as I say, let me know what you think in the chat. It'd be interesting to know. But personally, I think, February, not amazingly stellar, but Pixel Junk Raiders is a good sort of your main serving, as it were, I think, in there. Avicii's not bad, but I think, I think as long as every month there's a sort of your main serving and then a couple of appetizers either side, I don't have a problem with that. So I would say your Pixel Junk Raiders is your main serving and the others are your little appetizers, That's the way I look at that. Anyway, so they were the Pro titles: Avicii, Reigns, Pixel Junk Raiders, and Pac-Man. Good to see. Pac-Man should have been free to play or Pro a long time ago. I think many people have said that. I'm not the first, not original to say that. So there we go. Hellpoint landed as well, which is a pretty good title. Have you played Hellpoint? Anybody played Hellpoint? I'm not sure it's entirely my cup of tea, so I haven't really kind of ventured on it. See, Jamie Lee Williams is saying, Little Nightmares $24.99 on release on Xbox and PS. That's 3 months worth of Stadia Pro. Very good point. Other games arriving this week. It came from Space and 8-hour Brains. $14.99 here in US dollars. Why do they always show it in dollars on my bloody website? And also interesting, and apropos what I've said earlier here, Monster Jam Steel Titans. I just want to show you something here, ladies and gentlemen. Is that the one I'm thinking of? No, this is what I want to show you. This Supercross 4. ladies and gentlemen. Supercross 4 is coming. It is launching this week. Wednesday, I think. No, Thursday. Yeah? This is a multi-platform title, ladies and gentlemen. May not be everybody's cup of tea, but the point is here, it's a multi-platform title. And it is launching on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, and Stadia on March the 11th. What? A title launching day and date? Yeah, a title, because that's the norm, ladies and gentlemen. That is the norm. We just sometimes forget about these slightly, what wouldn't call necessarily AAA titles, but maybe, you know, your AA titles that are launching all the time on multi-platforms. There we are, look. Just so I can stop that quickly. There we are. Oh, let's just go back there. Oh, that's the Xbox. That's no good. Let me just show you the... I did actually have the... Here we are. This is the official website, so you know I'm not going bonkers. There. PS4, PS5, Xbox One Series X, PC, by DVD-ROM. What the hell is a DVD-ROM, ladies and gentlemen? Steam and Stadia. Landing March the 11th. It's just one of those titles, like a few other titles that have landed multi-platform that people seem to forget. And when people make that sort of ridiculous argument that, oh, we don't get games day and date, which is clearly the facts don't add up. Yeah, the majority of games, new games that are launched multi-platform that arrive on Stadia at the same time as the other platforms. There is definitely a pattern there. Anyway, not everybody's cup of tea, but Supercross 4 launching multi-platform. And when you think of the titles that have launched multi-platform and arrived day and date, and you see what I'm talking about. From Doom Eternal, yeah, day and date. These are off the top of my head. There's some I'm going to miss out. PGA Golf, I think it was day and date. Formula 1, day and date. So what, Clive, what are you saying like 5 minutes ago? Things coming day and date. Yes. This, another title, day and date. Cyberpunk, day and date. Phoenix, day and date. Assassin's Valhalla, day and date. And there's probably some others I've completely forgotten. Yes, we did get Formula 1 on 1st of January as a pro title, but when it launched, it was a multi-platform game that launched day and date. So as I say, you know, there's a hell of a lot of titles that we sort of forget, like PGA Golf, Formula 1. There's some other ones, I think some 2K titles as well. Immortals Rising, Cyberpunk, Assassins, Hitman 3, of course, Little Nightmares 2, and loads of others that I've missed out. And yet people still sort of go, oh, we don't get the games at the same time as other people, Clive. Yeah, we do. It is the rule rather than the exception, yeah? Day and date is the rule rather than exception on Stadia. As I said, it would start to be last year. Like way back last year, I said, you will see as developers catch up in the development cycle. And we're seeing it. We've seen it from Doom. Doom was, special because they were working on that specifically with Stadia in mind. One of the early ones with Stadia in mind. And then we know about the Ubisoft titles, but they make up a lot of titles on Stadia, so that they count. But, it's these other little things like the Codemaster games, like Formula 1 and stuff, and the PGA golf game arriving day and date. So no, brothers and sisters, it's, it's not a rare thing. It is the rule, not the exception. Yeah. Anyway, that was just my point. In other news, ladies and gentlemen, now this is an interesting one. And you may have come across this. You may have heard it. Stadia playable on Xboxes? Huh? Ladies and gentlemen? Huh? So, Xbox Series X can now run Google Stadia. Here's how. So Google Xbox Series X browser's got Chromium powered upgrade. So like the Edge, Microsoft Edge is based on a Chromium sort of operating system. And the browser on the Xbox Series X has now got a Chromium powered upgrade, bringing support for Google Stadia and Amazon Luna through the browser. Testers have been able to get their hands on with the powerful browser thanks to Alpha Skipper Head program. I'm an Xbox insider, but I think I'm like a Delta or something, even that, or a Gamma. I'm like way down the pecking order. I'm not an Alpha. Jeez, I haven't done any jobs that I'm meant to do as an Alpha Xbox insider to sort of progress. I did it really for Sea of Thieves, I think, to get some insider stuff on Sea of Thieves. It offers a select... Oh, and xCloud, pre-xCloud pilots and stuff like that. It offers a select group of players the chance to demo upcoming features and updates before they're rolled out. And one of these is the Chromium version of Microsoft Edge with the ability to play Stadia. Apparently, now I've heard mixed things about this, that it doesn't quite work, or it doesn't recognize the controller and stuff. And as I say, not being on the alpha ring of Xbox insiders, I've not had a chance to try it. If anybody has in the chat, then certainly let us know. But it's an interesting concept that you could play Stadia on your Xbox. Now I know people going, "What's the point, Clyde? What's the point?" Well, maybe you could play a game, a brand new game that's just been launched while you're waiting for it to download on your Xbox. Joke. But the point is, I think, is the principle of the thing, yeah? Which, to me, just goes to underline, it's not about being able to play Stadia. My point is, not about being able to play Stadia on Xbox. To be honest, I'm not sure there's much benefit in that. Personally, you might be because you want to keep all your gaming in one space. That could be an argument. But it's more to me about the point that, as Bill from Nerd Nest says, and I always like to quote, hey, you've already got Stadia, genius. It's in your browser. Yeah. And this just goes to show it's everywhere. Yeah. Or it's getting everywhere. Yeah. It's in your Chrome browser. Yeah. It's in your Microsoft Edge browser. It's on your LG TV. It's on your Android TV. So it'll be on your Sony TV soon. Stadia is everywhere. I still see people who go, yeah, I just bought myself the Stadia. Yeah. Did you go in and did you buy the Stadia from Google? Because there's one thing I think we could call the Stadia. Yeah. It's like, it's the collective servers is the Stadia. Yeah. It's like that thing in the IT crowd, the IT crowd, when they convinced Jenny, they convinced Jenny that the internet's in a black box. Yeah. I've got the internet in my hands. Yeah. I've got the Stadia in my hands. Yeah. Still people say it. It's Stadia, people, just like Gmail. Yeah. I've got Gmail. I've got Stadia. But the point is, it's interesting that the Microsoft Edge is, a functioning version of it is on Xbox Series X with the possibility of you being able to play Stadia. To me, it just underlines the fact that what people so much sort of overlook or judge Stadia against consoles is that you're not having to pay 500 quid for it. Yeah. It's literally in your server. It's like all those people moaning about Pixel Junk Raiders that I talked about, PC players. Oh no, it's on Stadia. That means I can't play it. Why is it exclusive on Stadia? Oh, that means we can't play it. Yeah, you can play it if you're in the right country. Yeah, and there's 22 countries. You can play it. Just go to your browser, put in Stadia. If you're that desperate to play it. But it's sort of a difficult concept for people to sort of get their heads around, I think. But anyway, yes, imagine. I would try it. I would definitely try it just out of the principle on my Xbox. I would try trying Stadia on it. But anyway, my point here is it just goes to show the fact that, you know, as I said before, you've already got Stadia Genius. It's everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. It's everywhere. And it's going to get, you know, it's on your phones. It's going to get everywhere. It's going to get even more everywhere. Right. Other news here. Who was it who was saying about the Division 2? I apologize. I've forgotten already. But this is interesting. Division 2 will get a brand new game mode in late 2021. A brand new. So this is not DLC. This is a brand new game mode. So Ubisoft have shared a bit more info on the big update coming to Division 2 in late 2021. So bear in mind, this is one of the best looking games. Yeah, I think arguably one of the best looking games, probably one of the best games on Stadia, the way it plays, the way it looks. So to me, this is exciting news. And I do like Division 2. But as I said, it says here, a new game mode. I wonder what it could be. I'm thinking, could be, ladies and gentlemen, could be a battle royale mode. That's wishful thinking on my part. But it's interesting. So I say, it's not just DLC they're talking about. They're talking about a brand new game mode. So that does suggest like a different way of playing it, you know, a different competitive aspect to it to bring it in. I'd love to see a battle royale element, but then I'd like to see every game turned into every good first person shooter. I always think, wow, this plays really well. I'd love to see this as a battle royale. I'd love to see Destiny 2 with a battle royale. You know, I'd love to see Doom with a battle royale. Any good first person shooter that plays really smoothly. I think it's because I play PUBG so much and that doesn't play smoothly. And then you go with a really good quality first person shooter. That's why we need Call of Duty and Apex, because they just flow so lovely. Or, you know, Valorant or something like that. But yeah, talking, ladies and gentlemen, talking of battle royales. Talking. Now this, I'm filing under Game Rumors 40%, 30% chance. Let me know what you think in the chat. This is courtesy of Stadia Source, who ran this one. And it is, Stadia Source, sort out your website, get onto Rock. It's not rendering through properly there. Anyway, Super Animal Royale could be coming to Stadia. Now, this is very, very speculative, people. I'm putting this at somewhere like a 30% chance of this happening. But basically, it says here, it's no secret at this point, a handful of games for Google Studio have been ported to the platform by third-party companies rather than developers themselves. Probably Stadia's biggest and most successful port is that of Cyberpunk, which saw the game run smoother on Stadia. So that was Q-Lock, I think it was, wasn't it, who ported that? Polish porters, very good. It ran smoother on Stadia than it did on most of its counterparts. Anyway, it's then safe to assume there are probably other studios currently in the process of porting games too. Looking at other possible studios that could be porting games to Stadia, a studio by the name of Poppyworks came to light. Upon inspection of their website, which lists games they've worked on in the past and are working on currently, you'll see they were contracted to work on ports of various Modus game titles. Now, that may be just because Modus has that relationship rather than Stadia, but Ari and the Secret Seasons, Modus game, ported by, according to this article here, ported by Poppyworks. Rock of Ages 3, ported by Poppyworks. They are also actively working on ports of Chris Tales, which we know is coming, and Street Power Football, which we know is coming to Stadia. So, one additional game is also listed that we've not heard anything about, at least pertaining to Stadia, and that game ladies and gentlemen, is Super Animal Royale. Also from Modus Games. Now, actually, I've just increased the probability to 40% because I didn't realize Super Animal Royale was from Modus Games. So Stadia has a relationship with Modus Games, and Modus Games is using the port house that have successfully bought a number of ports to Stadia. That's exciting now. I'm a bit more excited. I didn't realize that it was from Modus Games. Let me know what you think. I'm going 40% chance of that happening. Yeah. Let me know in the chat whether you think, that there's a chance of that happening. Because I'd love to see another, battle royale, even if it's animal. What was it called again? Super Animal Royale. Anyway, that's just me. I just want Apex, really. I just want Apex to come, even though I'm rubbish at it. I'm rubbish at battle royales, but I love them. I'm a glutton for punishment. Right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to make that large. No, not that one large. This one large. Yeah, let's go large. Let's see what, let's close that down a minute. Let's see what the people have been saying, ladies and gentlemen. Let me pop out the chat so I can see it properly. Pop out. Right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just trying to grab the chat so I can see it. Okay, it's just going over there. Let's just pop that down there. Ah, there we go. I've got it. It's all right. Don't panic, people. I can read it now. Right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, Dominic becoming a Shocker You member. Always lovely. If you want to be a member and join Dominic and the gang, then feel free. Always much appreciated. Jamie Lee saying, now this is interesting. I saw a huge amount of people unhappy that stayed at Saints Row 3 remastered. An old game that's been remastered, and they're selling for £34.99. Yeah, almost identical to what they were selling it on Xbox right now. Yeah, exactly. £32.99. Somebody complained about it. I saw it and I said, literally, it's £2 difference. Like, wow. I mean, that's nothing, mate. Because straight away when I saw the price, oddly enough, that's exactly what I did. I thought, is that a reasonable price? I checked it and I thought, yeah, there or thereabouts. I mean, you see 34, I see 32, Yeah, exactly. So obviously they know it sells for that, and they're not going to, they're going to sell it for that anyway. Jamie Lee, 90% of the user base doesn't even know about the negative articles. So I think I agree with you there, Jen. I'm not, whether it's 90%, but I think that the majority of people who have Stadia, so we are the minority. I would say people who come to this chat, certainly people who come to this channel, the minority, because there's not that many of them. But the minority of people who that we all see and talk to on Twitter and all that kind of stuff are minority compared to the larger Stadia user base. Even to a certain degree, a lot of the regular Reddit users are. So you're right. And that was my point before, that for most casual Stadia users, which make up the majority of users, they're getting a lot of content. Yeah. And they're probably quite happy and satisfied. You see it all the time, how Stadia is sort of given an opportunity for people to game that had given up on gaming, but it's just, they've got busy lives, but you just fire it up, play a game, play a quick round of Reigns, or go have a bit of, PUBG or whatever it is. It's easy to dip in, experience a few AAA games that, at low cost. What's not to like? Anyway, very good point there, Jamie Lee. Yeah, Little Nightmares 2, Paul. I've tried to avoid watching too much gameplay because I don't want it to sort of spoil it. And I know I need some time. I might stream it as Lord Kensal, ask Lord Kensal to stream it. Yeah, where the AAA's on Luna. Well, exactly. Luna's got a different business model, which means they're not going to get, other than unless you subscribe to Ubisoft Plus, which is a different thing. It's not really Luna Plus. It's just a channel on Luna Plus. So that aside, their business model isn't built for the blockbusters arriving day and date, as they will on Stadia. That's just the nature of the business model. Jason Richardson says, I love your channel, bro. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. I love you, guy. That's nice. We got 9 games of Pro in December. Yeah, we were spoiled, Gahandara. Yeah, spoiled. Remember, they always said, you'll get, as part of Stadia Pro, you get to play in 4K, 60 frames per second, and 1 to 2 games, a month. Not that realistically that would have been very satisfactory. I don't know, unless they were genuine massive AAAs, like just 2. Would you be happy? Again, I'm putting this out to you, chat. Would you be happy if every month you just got really big AAA titles? Just 2, yeah? 1 or 2, as opposed to 4, titles with maybe the one nice one thrown in. Again, maybe it's just about offering, variety. I would never have bought Pixel Junk, so never would have tried it. Exactly. There's so many games I would never have tried. It's a bit like, with Xbox Games Pass, when I was playing a lot of Xbox, it was the same there. If an interesting game came in, not every game in Games Pass interested me, but if an interesting one came in, I'd give it a go. Usually sort of an old AAA game that's dropped into Games Pass, I'd give it a go. Trouble is, it would drop out again. I remember I've told this story before, but Grand Theft Auto dropped into Games Pass, and about 2 months later, my daughter came down asking me, "Oh, can I play Grand Theft Auto because my boyfriend plays it?" And I went, "Yeah, it's on Games Pass." Called it up, gone. Red Dead Redemption 2, I think too. It probably lasted about 2 months in Games Pass or something like that. Do you think we'll get? Dominic says, "Do we think we'll get a FIFA price tomorrow?" I'm not sure we'll get it tomorrow. It's 17th, is it? More likely you'll get it next week, because they've got other games arriving. And say they've got the Supercross 4 arriving, so that'll probably get announced tomorrow. Dave said, I like Reigns. I bought it too. Well, it was only a couple of quid. It's hard. Oh, Hellpoint, that is. Okay. You can't even get fast food home delivery for less than £8.99. Exactly. Some people are natural born moaners. Exactly. And they live on Reddit. I think you'll find. Cyberpunk, Watchdog, Immortals. Exactly. Going through the list. There's a long list. There's a long list. You see, the trouble is, it's these titles like Formula One or the Golf that sort of slightly fly under the radar, that have multi-platform launches, that people almost sort of conveniently forget when they bring up that argument about, oh, well, we don't get games day and date. Well, you do. And we have. And it's becoming more and more regular, and we'll see it more and more. I hope we do anyway. I think it's like, to me, it's like a benchmark or a litmus test. Yeah. Are we getting the AAA games? Are we getting the AAA games when they, as they launch, multi-platform ones, not old ones I'm talking about, because it's better for Stadia to focus on making sure we are getting the multi-platform games. That's my litmus test 1. The litmus test 2 is, are we getting them day and date? Yeah. I think the days of filling up with old titles, if the old titles come along, if opportunities come along, get them on. Get them on. But definitely they should be focusing on making sure, the titles that get a lot of noise are arriving on Stadia. We've seen the impact that Cyberpunk had. To a certain degree, impact that Little Nightmares and Hitman have had. So it has a big impact. One game can have a big impact. So we just got to make sure that they're consistently doing that. Gaming here taking too much space on my drive right now. Yeah. Damn Stadia. Too much space there. And your mama knows. I know you always watch it. Stadia, I'm a nutter. I want Shadow of War on Stadia. Yeah, Orcs is fun. Beating crap out of talking orcs is just fun. Yeah, I see what you mean. I thought you were talking about Orcs Must Die then. Yeah, Stadia Mania. Oh my God. Uplay Plus. I still stand by the fact this is the one thing I was so sure about that I was wrong about in Stadia. I think you'll find that 99% of stuff I say is accurate. But this one thing I hand up, but Uplay Plus not coming to Stadia when it launched on Luna or soon after, caught me by surprise. And the only logic, and I've said it before, is I think Amazon has something to do with it being held back. That's all I'm saying. I think it is. Yeah, the Reddit hole. Exactly. It's not on GFN either. What? Pixel? Junk Raiders? Oh, you're talking about Shadow of War. Yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Anyway, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was a ride through this Stadia week that was. As I say, we've got games. It can be a bit redundant me saying it, but we've got games coming out this week that we know of. We've got games coming out next week. We just got games every week. This is what people forget. Like, I remember back in the day, we had to wait months for a game, weeks even, weeks before a game was released on Stadia. Every week, a handful of games. Boom, every week. So anyway, this week, Wednesday, Thursday, the 11th, whatever it is, Motocross. I'm sure there's some other titles that come out this week as well. And then next week, FIFA. FIFA's going to make a lot of noise. I think that'll be fun. But the big test for FIFA will be the price. That'll be the big test. Everybody, if it's low enough, everybody will jump on it. I say everybody, that's a kind of bit of a sweeping statement. A lot of people will jump on it if the price is right. And it should be fun. And I think with these games, we know the Stadia user base is not massive. Yeah. So I think those people, I've seen a number of people on Twitter saying, look, shall we set up a group or a Discord group or a Twitter group, whatever, to say, hey, you want to play FIFA, and just have a kind of Discord group of FIFA players and stuff. And I think that's what Stadia needs to do, really, to sort of help manage the low player base on certain multiplayer games. Is get yourself organized, people, organize, and then the problem will go away if you have kind of groups of people who are, with FIFA players. Put your name down here, whether it's on the old Faceboomer, Twitter, Discord, whatever it is. I think the Stadia community organize themselves into sort of multiplayer games. Then it will make sure that the waiting lists, not the waiting lists, there's players. You can just sign up and join with players and do stuff. It happens already, but I definitely with FIFA, I think, we should get on it. People should get on it, which I think they are. And, put together little groups wanting to play FIFA and stuff like that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Stadia Monday Night Chat. I hope you had a good evening. I hope you found it interesting. And I want to thank you for being here as ever. Don't forget to hit the likes, because as I always say, I like them, YouTube likes them, and it helps people like you find content like this. And if you are new, you know what to do. Whack that subscribe button, toggle the notification bell so you know when I go live with this show. Keep following me on Twitter. I'm always dropping little things on there, little surprises, the odd little skit here and there. And have a wonderful, wonderful evening, wonderful afternoon, and a wonderful week. And I'll see you, same place, same time, ladies and gentlemen, next week. Cheerio.